Hey guys, it's Timbot, and I just finished up doing our Thursday review of all the code. And this week there was something a little bit different. I gave you guys an additional challenge to do, which was to get the backer level showing the same way that most of you have the name of your backer showing in this crowdfunding project that we're working on. Seems like people are struggling on that a little bit, so I thought I'd make a quick video to point you in the right direction, and I definitely want to see this working for all you guys by Monday. So let's dive on in and let's see how we can do this. All right, so the first thing I'm going to do is jump on over to Leaflet Learning, go into our labs here, jump into Lab 7, and bring up the lesson pen that we were working from. And this is kind of the state of things where our code was when we finished up. So I'm going to fork this so that I can show you guys how I would go about getting that backer level showing. Now if we take a quick look down, we can see that things are basically working because I already have Felicia and Bob showing up in the backers here. And check my data real quick, and I see that, yep, there's Bob, there's Felicia. So this looks like it's working. So the first thing that I would do is jump down to that string literal. Now this is in the renderer in the print backers function that we created. And inside of here, you can see that right here is the H4 that is showing the name, and it's inside of this class called pledger info. Now I've set the alignment inside of this area in the flex box to stack things on top of each other. So if I put another element after that H4, it should appear right underneath of it. Let's test that. So first thing I'm going to do is jump past this H4. I'm just going to hard code something like, just like this. Let's see if we can get that showing up. It's early, guys. All right. And boom, backer level. It's already showing, right? So the next thing that I need to do is to make this dynamic so that it actually shows the level that the person has achieved by donating funds to our project here. So let me go ahead and write that up. Now we know that we can insert something into a string literal by using this syntax here with the $sign and the curly braces, right? So, so inside of here, we need to give it a value. So check it out. I'm going to go to the backers, and I'm going to select the backer by name, and I'm going to get the level of that person. Give that a quick save, and let's check it out. Hello. So now we're showing that Bob here has a backer level of gold. This is looking good. But why don't we see a backer level for Felicia here? Well, the reason why is because we wrote a class called backer level that applies the logic that determines what level they should be based on how much money they've donated. But if we look down here, a little while ago, we wrote it, and we're only actually calling it for Bob. So we need a way of calling it for every backer that we want to show on the screen. So what I would suggest to do, the quickest, easiest solution, let's grab this whole thing. I'm going to take it out of there. We're going to move it inside of our loop. Where's a good place to do it? Well, here's the start of our loop, which is a for each loop. So let me jump in there. I'm just going to paste it in there. Boom. But as it is right now, it's only going to set the level for Bob, right? But we saw previously that val in this loop is the name of the user. So let's get rid of this hard-coded Bob, and let's change that, not val, to val. There we go. Now, if I'm not mistaken, that should now be running that logic on every single user that we're rendering to the screen. So let's take a look and check it out. Bob is now backer level gold, and Felicia is backer level silver. So that's really all you need. So there were a couple of tricks in there, and you would need to show a little bit of familiarity with what we've been learning in order to pull this off. If you didn't get it, don't feel bad, but do get it done for the next class. Now, for those of you who are still watching, maybe just a little piece of bonus content. Ideally, we would have maybe thousands and thousands of backers on here. We're not going to want to render them all to the screen, or our screen is going to get ridiculously long and it's also going to start to chug. So we need a way of setting a limit on the number of users that we're showing on the screen here. So let me show you how we can do that. All right. So the first thing that I'm going to do is go to the start of my print backers, and we're getting the backers here, and I want to have an optional parameter that can limit the number of backers that we're going to render to the screen. And in a previous class, we saw that we can now in ES6 give these parameters a default value. So I'm going to say limit it to 5. Now there's a really nice little trick we can do, very simple, that will allow us to apply that limit. So let's go down here to where we're getting the backer list. So currently this is going to be all the backers. So instead of doing that, let's use our array.slice to limit this a little bit. So I'm going to say .slice, and I'm going to say start at the first backer and end at the limit. Nice little trick, right? Now if we look in our result here, we're still going to see both Bob and Felicia, and the reason why is because we've set a default of 5 backers. So it's always going to try and show 5 backers. If there's less than that, it's not going to cause a problem. Array slice doesn't have a problem if we limit it at a higher number of items than the array actually has. But let's test it. So let's go down to where we're calling print backers here, and let's give it another value. Let's say limit it to 1. And now if we scroll down, hey, only Bob's showing. So that's pretty sweet and a very handy way of using one of the tricks that we picked up earlier. So for all of you guys who are watching this video, I hope you found that helpful. In the next class, we are going to definitely be moving on from that point. We've got this right-hand column that we're going to style up a little bit, and we're very, very close to hooking up user interaction, which is going to lead us into using events and all kinds of cool stuff like that. That's when it starts to really get fun. So all you guys have a great weekend. If I don't talk to you, do be sure and look for your feedback on Leaflet Learning. Talk to you soon.